Here is the detailed early life and family background section of Zachary Taylor. Early life and family background: birth and childhood. Born November 24, 1784. Place: Montebello, Orange County, Virginia, USA. Zachary Taylor was born into a prominent and patriotic Virginian family with strong ties to the American Revolution. Family lineage: father, Richard Taylor, a veteran officer of the Continental Army who fought under George Washington during the Revolutionary War. Mother, Sarah Dabney Strother. From another respected Virginia family, the Taylors were wealthy plantation owners and enslavers, deeply rooted in Southern aristocracy, moved to Kentucky frontier in 1785. When Zachary was just an infant, his family moved west to Louisville, Kentucky, then considered the American frontier. The Taylors settled on a large estate in what was then known as Jefferson County, building a plantation named Springfield. The family's relocation was motivated by the availability of vast land holdings and the prospect of building wealth through farming and land development. Education: Taylor's education was limited and irregular due to the remote frontier life. He received basic tutoring in reading, writing, and arithmetic from private tutors and local teachers. Unlike many of his future presidential peers, he did not attend college, a fact that later contributed to his image as a plain-spoken man of action. Early traits: from a young age, Taylor showed traits of physical toughness, self-reliance, and military interest, shaped by frontier living. His exposure to wilderness life, Native American conflicts, and his father's military legacy all played a role in shaping his desire to join the U.S. Army. Here is a comprehensive breakdown of Zachary Taylor's military career: 1808 to 1849. Military career of Zachary Taylor, 1808 to 1849. Zachary Taylor served over 40 years in the U.S. Army, rising from a junior officer to a national war hero. His leadership in numerous conflicts, particularly the Mexican-American War, made him a household name and eventually catapulted him to the presidency. Entry into military service: 1808. Commissioned First Lieutenant, U.S. Army Infantry, May 3, 1808. Appointed amid military expansion ordered by President Thomas Jefferson due to growing tensions with Britain and Native American tribes stationed in Indiana Territory to defend against Native uprisings. War of 1812. 1812-1815. Promoted to captain, then Major Hero of Fort Harrison. 1812. Led the defense of the fort in Indiana Territory under siege by Native American force. His courageous stand earned him a brevet promotion to lieutenant colonel. Became one of the first military heroes of the war. Of 1812. Post-war frontier service: 1815 to 1832. Stationed in various frontier outposts across the Old Northwest and South. Tasked with maintaining peace and overseeing infrastructure in growing U.S. territories, built a reputation for discipline, toughness, and plain leadership style. In 1819, promoted to full colonel and given command of the 7th Infantry Regiment. Black Hawk War. 1832. Played a supporting role in the short but symbolic conflict between U.S. forces and Native American leader. Black Hawk oversaw troop movement and supply lines in Illinois and Wisconsin Territory. Notable connection: a young Abraham Lincoln also briefly served in this war as a militia captain. 2nd Seminole War, 1835. 1842. Appointed to command forces in Florida. Battle of Lake Okeechobee, 1837. Despite facing heavy terrain and ambush conditions, Taylor pushed through with determination. Victory earned him the nickname Old, Rough, and Ready for his modest manner and endurance. Promoted to brigadier general and eventually major general during the campaign Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848. This war cemented Taylor's fame as a military hero and paved his way to the White House. Key battles and campaigns: Battle of Palo Alto, May 8, 1846, first major battle of the war. Taylor decisively defeated Mexican forces near Brownsville. Texas used superior artillery to outmaneuver larger Mexican forces. Battle of Resaca de la Palma. May 9, 1846, pursued retreating Mexican troops and secured a crucial victory, captured key enemy supplies, and helped drive Mexican forces across the Rio Grande. Battle of Monterrey, September 1846, led the capture of the fortified city of Monterrey after intense urban combat, accepted a controversial 8-week armistice with Mexican General Ampudia. Criticized by President Polk. Battle of Buena Vista, February 22 to 23. 1847, outnumbered nearly 4-1 by General Santa Anna's army. Taylor's forces held their ground using tactical skill and artillery power. His stunning victory made him a national icon. Despite Polk's efforts to limit his prominence, military reputation and retirement, known for unpretentious, rough and ready demeanor, deep loyalty to troops, lack of political ambition, initially retired. In 1849, upon being elected President of the United States military service, over 40 years, from frontier skirmishes to commanding tens of thousands, in a major war, legacy as a military leader viewed as one of the most effective and beloved generals in U.S. history before the Civil War. His battlefield success and common man persona helped bridge gaps between North and South. Briefly often compared to George Washington and Andrew Jackson for rising from military command to the presidency. Here is the detailed account of Zachary Taylor's role as a Mexican-American war hero. 1846 to 1848. Zachary Taylor, Mexican-American War Hero. 846-1848. Zachary Taylor became a national icon and war hero through his commanding role in the Mexican-American War, a conflict driven by the U.S. annexation of Texas and territorial disputes with Mexico. His decisive victories and personal bravery earned him widespread acclaim and propelled him into the presidency. Background of the war conflict. Trigger. After Texas was annexed by the United States in 1845, Mexico refused to recognize its loss. Border tensions escalated over whether the boundary was the Rio Grande U.S. claim or the Nueces River Mexico's claim. Taylor's orders. President James K. Polk sent General Taylor to the disputed area near the Rio Grande, hoping to provoke a Mexican response. Battle of Palo Alto, May 8, 1846, near Brownsville. Texas' first major battle of the war. Taylor faced a much larger Mexican force under General Mariano Arista. U.S. artillery proved decisive. Superior firepower and terrain usage led to a clear American victory. Boosted morale and support for war in the U.S. Battle of Resaca de la Palma. May 9, 1846. Taylor pursued retreating Mexican forces. Fierce close-range combat in a dense ravine captured Mexican artillery and forced them across the Rio Grande. Proved Taylor's tactical effectiveness and momentum. Taylor's leadership style, nicknamed Old Rough and ready for his simple dress, frontier toughness and personal bravery, preferred to fight alongside his men, rarely using headquarters, popular with both soldiers and civilians, disliked politics and party interference in military matters. Legacy of the Mexican-American War. Taylor's military victories secured U.S. control of northern Mexico, set the stage for the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, 1848, which expanded U.S. territory by over 500,000 square miles. His leadership in the war is considered one of the defining examples of battlefield command in U.S. history. His fame directly led to his election as the 12th President of the United States. Here is the complete section on Zachary T.'s sudden death and legacy of Zachary Taylor. Sudden illness and death. Date of death: July 9, 1850. Location: White House, Washington, D.C. Age: 65. Cause: sudden illness, historically believed to be acute gastroenteritis, likely caused by contaminated food or water consumed during 4th of July celebrations. Timeline of final days: July 4, 1850. attended Independence Day events at the Washington Monument, reportedly consumed large quantities of raw fruit cherries and iced milk during the summer heat. July 5th to 8th, became seriously ill with severe stomach cramps, vomiting, and diarrhea. July 9th, died after 5 days of intense illness, despite medical attention. Modern theories, some speculated he was poisoned, but a 1991 exhumation and toxicology test ruled out lethal levels of arsenic or foul play. Funeral and burial: state funeral, held in Washington, D.C., with full military honors. Final resting place, Zachary Taylor National Cemetery, Louisville, Kentucky. On his family estate presidential legacies, residency was cut short, just 16 months into his term, limiting his impact on long-term policies. However, both his military and moral legacy left a lasting imprint. Legacy in office preserved the Union briefly. Taylor strongly opposed the expansion of slavery into Western territories gained from Mexico, even though he was a slave owner himself. He supported California's entry as a free state, which angered many Southern leaders, warned Southern secessionists that he would use force to preserve the Union. Died before the Compromise of 1850. His death allowed Vice President Millard Fillmore to assume the presidency and sign the controversial Compromise of 1850, which Taylor might have vetoed. Military reputation: remembered as one of the great military commanders of the early U.S., nicknamed Old Rough and ready for his endurance, simplicity, and toughness, highly respected for his battlefield leadership, particularly at Buena Vista. Personal legacy: a political outsider who was deeply respected for his integrity and patriotism, seen as a man of the people, modest, direct, and honest, owned enslaved people but broke with Southern interests during his presidency, leaving a complex moral legacy. Historical recognition: counties, schools, and forts across the U.S. are named after him. For example, Fort Zachary Taylor in Florida, ranked as a middle-tier president due to his short term, but highly regarded as a military leader.